Hey guys, my name's Amy and this is Piper, and today I've got some plant rescues to show you. I've got a new trash plant rescue from my work, an update on my last trash plant rescue that I brought home from work, and some plants that need rescuing from me. So I thought it would be good to start with the new plant as I haven't gotten it out of this bag yet. So yeah, let's get started. So this is how I brought this plant home, to try my best to protect it from the cold. Hello, what is it? And I haven't had an opportunity to take it out yet, so I thought I could do that here. So here it is. This is the plant, looking a little bit worse for wear as you can see, but there is still signs of life and new growth. We've got this really healthy leaf here. This is a Phlebodium aureum divana. It's very similar to the Phlebodium aureum blue star fern. It's just got slightly crinklier leaves. So I've had the Phlebodium blue star fern I think 2 or 3 times before, and it's done exactly what this plant has done here, where it dies back and it does continue to put out new growth, but not at a rate that it can sustain. It dies back quicker than it grows back. So I don't know how successful this rescue is going to be, but fingers crossed, hopefully we can get it to bounce back a bit. And worst case scenario, this is a really good hanging pot size that I will definitely reuse anyway. Let's get these clips off to have a better look at it. I can already see the soil is really, probably don't sniff that bud. Thank you. The soil is really poor quality, really compacted, but it feels quite heavy. So I don't think it's going to be overwatering. That's the problem, but I would like to try my best to get it out of this soil and see if that helps at all. Do you want to get down, puppy? Yeah. Oh, there you go. You're gonna go to your bed. There we go. So there is a closer look at the soil. You can see it's like just not very nice, and but you can see, yeah, some new tiny baby leaves popping up. There's a cute one. This leaf looks really good. This one's looking a bit crispy, but it is still healthy all the way down the stem. Same with this one here. But this leaf sadly has snapped at the base, so that will die off and I'll remove that. So I think the first thing I want to do is just remove some of the remaining dry dead pieces before I go ahead and try and repot this thing. So I've got my shears, I've just sanitized those, and I'm just gonna clip stuff out. Some stuff may just pull out on its own, but if it's not, I don't want to like try and force it. Okay, I think that's all I'm going to remove. A lot of it had already been taken off by this plant's owner. Hello, darling. What's that? So now I'm gonna try and get out this pot and see what we're working with. I'll use the bag I brought it home in, just to try and catch all of the soil. Make it a bit easier for myself. I don't know whether I'm gonna need a knife or something to try and wedge it out, as the soil has gotten really compacted, maybe a little bit hydrophobic, I'm not sure. Yeah, I'm gonna get a knife and try and use that to wedge this out. Got fungus gnats. Oh. That's good. That's pretty easy. Hi, puppy. I know. Hi. I'm gonna try my best not to make a mess, but I think I'm going to anyway. Puppy, it's quite hard to play with the table in the way. Oh wow, this was originally going, I've just in the bottom, originally going for £30 and was reduced down to 12 when they picked it up. Oh, there's quite a few fungus gnats coming out of this, which tells me it's probably not an underwatering problem. We'll see, it's nearly out. Oh, there we, ooh. Look at that. Big bit there. I'm trying to think what these are called. I don't know whether they're rhizomes or if that's something else. These sort of really hairy sort of legs that a lot of ferns put out. Looks very similar to the, what is it, kangaroo paw fern, and they sort of grow out and out of the pot, whereas these ones crawl along the top of the soil. So I'm going to try and get as much of this soil off. I'll give you a good look, and there is some good roots at the bottom. But yeah, I'm going to try and get as much of this soil off, and then I will come back. Okay, I've made some progress on one side. This is a really bad time to have an itchy nose. I accidentally snapped off one of the good leaves. It got caught on the plant pot that I've got here and just came right off. So that's annoying. It was a bit crispy, but it was a nice big leaf. Yeah, I've had this plant, I've had the Phlebodium aureum, which has a slightly different leaf shape, 2 or 3 times. Puppy! And it did, yeah, exactly the same thing. It just died off, but continued to put out new growth, but not quick enough to keep up with how much it was dying off. So I think I ended up giving those ones away. I sort of, if I've got a plant that I'm not doing very well with, but it's not a pest issue or anything, I tend to just pop them outside if the weather's mild enough, and people always pick them up and take them home. But maybe, fingers crossed, we might have some better luck with this one. That soil, it just looks very old, I suppose. It doesn't look like it's got a ton of nutrients left in it, so I'm hoping that with Puppy, careful because there's a lot of soil everywhere. Hoping that with some fresh soil, maybe this one will have a bit of a comeback, because all of this looks really good. It's not dead, because I've seen these in garden centres, and I'm always tempted by them because they look so lush and beautiful. Like, these leaves are so nice, they're so cool. They kind of make me think of lettuce or kale or something, to be honest. But because I've struggled with the other what the hell is that? It's like a random rubbery tubey thing in the soil. Because I've struggled with the other one so much in the past, I've not wanted to buy them, so this is a good way to have a go with this one. I noticed with a lot of ferns, or every fern that I've had and repotted, the roots are quite dark. They're either the same colour as the soil, or they're like brown and a bit fuzzy looking. So yeah, they look a little bit different to other plant roots. They don't tend to be the like white or even orangey roots. They do tend to be quite brown. Quite similar to Nepenthes roots, actually. They're black or dark brown. Multitasking queen, repotting and playing fetch. Oh god, I can't give myself a cramp. And woo! Was that not good? Not very good? Okay. Making really good progress on this side. It's just this side that's proven a little bit harder to work with, which, to be fair, is the side that most of the plant is growing on. I feel like I just need to get one bit to budge and it'll make the whole thing easier, but I don't want to damage too many of, don't want to damage roots if I don't have to. There definitely will be quite a lot of damage with this, just because of how compacted the soil was. It's really gripping to the roots, but I want to get as much of it off because it does feel like it's gone a bit hydrophobic. So if I end up repotting it now in better quality soil and then watering it, it won't absorb in this section right in the middle. So I do want to free up as much as I can. Yes, baby, you're very cute. You got a toy. Woo! Where's that coming from? Yeah, there's a dead piece. I haven't seen any more fungus gnats, so that's good. It's obviously not as bad as I thought it might be at first. Okay, so this is the best that I could do. A lot of roots did end up breaking off, but that's fine. There's still plenty there, and it actually split into 2 separate pieces. So I'm still gonna try and pot them together if I have a plant pot big enough. I could use that, but I wonder if that's gonna be a bit unnecessary, possibly. I'll see. I'll go and look at what I've got in my plant cupboard. But yeah, that is everything we have. Try and show you, it's a bit of an awkward shaped plant. And yeah, I'll go make up some nice new soil and get this guy potted up. Okay, I've got a couple of different pot options. I've got a shallower hanging pot that's really nice and wide, but won't end up with too much soil lower down. And I've got a slightly narrower, but still a bit taller pot. So I'm gonna see which one seems to work the best. I've got my soil mixture there, so you can see it's really chunky. It's got cocoa coir, orchid bark, perlite and worm castings. If you're more of an underwater with your plants, you could definitely have less of the perlite in this mixture, but I like to err on the side of caution with that kind of thing. I think I'm a bit more of an overwaterer with some of my plants, or with something like this that wouldn't go in like the highest light setting, and especially now we're in winter, I'd rather err on it drying out a bit quicker than not quick enough. So let's see, I think I'm hoping that that will work the best. Is that going to be too shallow? Because that's it sat in already, but it could come up a little bit. I might just go for that because I don't want to use tons and tons of soil, really. And to be fair, it doesn't actually quite fit in the top of that one. So I am going to go with this one because I think that will just be too much soil, potentially. Do we think? Although not terrible, to be fair. Oh, I don't know. I'm going to start with this one because, yeah, I don't think it needs a ton of soil going into the bottom just yet. Move it a bit further back, that'll make more sense. So, okay, I'm going to get a plate actually because this has quite big drainage holes, so that's all going to fall through. Is that going to fit? Just about. Woo! Okay, so I'm going to pour some of that soil in there. Not much though, because it doesn't have a bunch of room height-wise. That's probably fine. Didn't mix that very well. Put them in. I think that should be good. Try and get them central. There we go. And start spooning in, backfill around the plant. I'm hopeful because I do really like these plants. I think they're really pretty, but I've had, yeah, so much trouble with the other type of Phlebodium that I don't know. They've reacted in the same way. My mum's had one as well and it did the same thing to her. We will see. And I've tried them in my bathroom, which is a higher humidity setting, and to be fair, our whole flat's quite high humidity really. So I don't think it's that. Was this the right part? I'm second guessing now. I'm going to stick to it. It's fine. Try and get them nice and secure without pushing the soil down too firmly, but you don't want any air pockets if you can avoid it. This has still used up quite a bit of soil. That's okay. All right, I think that's good. So looks maybe a little bit awkward, but hopefully maybe the extra width will give it some more room to crawl and spread out. But I'm gonna, yeah, water it in because the soil wasn't too wet when I first got it out, so I should think that would be fine to water this in now. Hopefully get it nice and settled. There's another dead bit there. But yeah, we will see. I will keep you updated on how this gets on. Yeah, not sure where I'm going to put it yet, but that is a problem for later. So the next little project I want to do today is the last plant that I rescued from my work. This is the Kalanchoe Flaming Katie, and it's done so well. It looks so lush and healthy now. I'll pop in a picture of what it looked like when I first found these pieces. So I want to repot this. I want to give it a slightly bigger pot. I don't think it's root bound, but as you can see, it's completely filled out the width of the pot, and I think they'd be happy for a bit more room to spread out. So I'm going to go pick a slightly larger pot. Hopefully there's enough soil in here left over to do that now, and I will be back in a second. So I've gone for a grey terracotta pot because I thought whatever colour blooms that this ends up putting out will go really, really nicely with the grey. So that's not too much of a size jump. I'll start by getting all these cuttings out, and I'll just tip the soil straight into here because I reckon most of that's going to get used to fill up the new pot. Got to try and wiggle them out there. Oh, there we go. So we have got some really good roots. I'm going to try and show you without making too much of a mess. Hopefully you can see. Got some really nice roots going on. I haven't long watered this, so I won't water this in once I've repotted it. I'll wait a few days. But, oh, that one's obviously gotten wedged out. That hasn't got any roots, but I think I'm going to remove that lower leaf there and probably just stick it in the soil and it'll be fine. And there we go. Really, really cute. I really hope that I can get these to bloom one day, because I don't know what colour. Yeah, this is definitely worth doing. There's a lot of lower down leaves that have gotten trapped and a bit sort of dry or rotted. So giving this more space around each little individual piece will solve that problem. The plants themselves look really healthy, but yeah, there's a few trapped yucky leaves. Oh yeah, there's quite a lot on that piece. They look pretty grim, but the stem's fine. There's no rot on the stem or the roots. That was just, yeah, some leaves that got a bit trapped because these got they puffed out so much. So they filled out that pot a lot quicker than I expected them to. Oh, and that looks like a completely new little offshoot there. That's really cute. There we go. So get my new pot and add some new soil to the bottom. I think that's going to be well draining enough. I think I really overdo it with sort of cacti and succulent types of plants. They end up being more perlite than anything because I'm so worried about overwatering. So this is going to have a lot of soil at the bottom. I've sort of almost half filled it because these are still, you know, they still have really shallow root systems, but because they're succulents, I won't be watering them that often anyway. So I don't think it's going to lead to root rot, fingers crossed. There we go, this is the piece that hadn't rooted. I've removed that leaf, although there is a bit of, oh no, maybe there is some rot. But that looks healthy. I've just snapped the bottom off and it is green, so I'm just gonna keep this piece to one side specifically, probably give it a fresh cut and then leave it to callus for a day or two before I pop that in the soil. So that will get added later. But all of these, I'll start adding them in. I think even this pot's still going to be quite full once they're all in, but that's okay. They'll definitely have a lot more space now. I'm thinking it might be smarter to just fill the pot up with the soil and poke the cuttings in rather than trying to get them to balance before I fill them in. Well, that worked out well. That's pretty much exactly how much soil was needed, so that's good. Tighten that down a little bit and start making room for these cuttings. Kalanchoe are such prolific sort of rooters, propagators, that I'm not too worried if they don't feel super sturdy in the soil, because they will find a way. They'll be fine, and they can handle quite a lot of neglect. You know, pieces were so dehydrated when I first brought them home. So I know if it takes a little while for them to get rooted in and they get a bit dehydrated again, they're going to be absolutely fine. So really, really resilient plant. Yeah, there's still not a ton of room in the top of this, but I don't have any like shallow pots anymore really. Couple of cuttings to find room for, but you can see it's already really full in this one as well. I definitely think this is going to feel a lot better for these. They've got more room to spread out. There we go, that is all of them. Can't tip it too much because they're not the most securely potted in there, but hopefully I reckon they should be rooted down a bit more secure pretty soon. And yeah, really cute, and I really like them in the grey, and I'm excited for them to grow a bit taller so that they sort of balance the size of the pot a bit more as well. And since bringing them home, they have proven to be pretty quick growers, so yeah, that's really exciting. I'm gonna clear up some of this mess that's in front of me and move on to the last project. So the last rescue project I have today, my plants originally, I potted 3 different ferns together, and as you can see, this crocodile fern in the middle is doing fine, very happy, but this one here, I don't know what it is, it's just starting to look a bit sad in places. And then there is also a Blechem spicant just there that I don't even know if it's still alive, to be honest. So I don't think these are very happy, or 2 of them, 2 out of the 3 aren't very happy with this combination. So I'm gonna take them out of this pot and pot them back into their own individual pots again. I reckon, well, I know that this one here, that will make a full recovery. It's just a bit sad at the moment, but that Blechem spicant in there, I really don't know if that one's gonna be all right. So yeah, let's get started. I'm gonna take these out of the pot now. So yeah, I'm gonna unpot these and put them back in their own individual homes. Hopefully we get 3 out of 3, but I'm not convinced about that Blechem. Oh, I'm trying to be gentle because I don't want to do any further damage. And the soil's really wet as well, so I know it's not from underwatering. Oh, there we go. Okay. Right, there's that little one there. That's what it's looking like. So there is still some green, but there's a lot of crisping. But there's one healthy leaf there. That one's looking okay. So I'm going to pot it up and see what it does over the next few weeks. See if it pushes out any new growth, makes a bit of a recovery, because there is still quite a lot of green. Here is the crocodile fern. Really, really happy and healthy. So yeah, that one's fine. I know that one's gonna make a full recovery, and I reckon this one will as well. It's not looking too bad now that I can see it on its own. I think there's maybe just 1 or 2 sadder looking pieces. Oh, I've given up with not making a mess. There is soil everywhere. And yeah, I can see a few tiny new little offshoots as well as a couple of dead pieces. So I'll just remove those dead stems. Yeah, the soil's still, you can see how dark it is. That's still really, really hung onto its moisture. And I put this thing together not ages ago, but long enough ago where it should have probably been a little bit drier in the soil by now. But that's fine, they are ferns, so they're not gonna react too badly to staying moist for too long. But otherwise, yeah, that still looks fine. So I'll go and find some different pots now to pop these all in and get them back in their own homes. Here we go, I've got a few different pot sizes here. So I'll start with the Blechem, as that's the smallest. Ideally I'd probably put it in even smaller of a pot than this, but I don't have any at the moment. So we'll stick with this. Just pop a little bit of soil at the bottom of the pot and fill in around the edge. There's scary people outside. Yeah, can you be quiet? There we go, that'll be fine for this one. And again, I will update on how it goes. Sorry, I didn't realise I was out of the frame. That's how that one's looking now. So next, let's do maybe this one. If anyone knows what kind of fern this is as well, please let me know. It's really, really pretty. Definitely one of those thinner leafed ferns that needs a bit more sort of moisture and humidity. But apart from a couple of those dead leaves from there, it's been doing pretty good. So, okay, yeah, it's probably going to be this one. Is that going to be too... No, I think that'll be okay. There's not a ton of room, but that should be fine. These don't live in really high light areas anyway, so I don't want them to have too much room because they just won't dry out quick enough. There we go. So again, I'm just gonna fill around the sides. I'm hoping that there'll be enough soil to do all three of these and I won't have to make up any more. Fingers crossed. A little bit more. There we go. Yeah, I think that's all good for this one. It is a very cute plant, to be fair. I don't know why I decided to pot them together because it's nice to be able to see this one shine on its own. I think I was probably just trying to save on space, to be honest. And now down to the last one, the crocodile fern. Is that gonna fit in here? Oh, just about. There we go. I think that's pretty good. Are we gonna get away without making new soil? Again, not much room, but it'll be fine. These will either go back on top of my wardrobe in our bedroom, or I might pop them in the bathroom if I can fit them there. Yeah, I don't think we're gonna have to make any more soil. That's handy. I do absolutely love this one. Really, really unique leaves. There we go, that is the last of those ferns all potted up. So yeah, got a nice big mess to clear up, but let's have a final look at all of the plants from today. So here are all the plants that we rescued / repotted today. We've got the Phlebodium aureum divana just here that I'm going to water in now. We've got the Kalanchoe flaming Katie, this mystery fern here, the crocodile fern, and the Blechem spicant. And I will give updates on any of these that I think will warrant it, like the Phlebodium and the Blechem. But yeah, thank you very much for watching this video. I really hope you enjoyed it. If you'd like to find me elsewhere, I'm Amy's Greenish Thumb on Instagram and TikTok, and I'll see you next time. Bye!